Staviana says, "What is one thing you would suggest a community do to not stall in this weird market? Also, what was your best flip?" The two very different questions.
Okay, that is.
What is one thing a community could do to not stall in this weird market? I mean, it's an interesting question. I think it depends on what the community is trying to do. Is probably the first thing to think about, and then just doing that. I mean, it's sort
what
of
a
like,
terrible answer.
I know. Like,
But
let's say
there is a sense that, like, staying true. If you actually have a community, it doesn't stall. That's not what a community does. But when you have something where you're kind of just focused on floor prices going up, and you have a fictitious community around trying to have that happen, then once the floor stalls, then the community stalls. I think there's something to that where, like, you have to differentiate between a real community and a fictitious community. And this question is almost inherently asking about propping up a fictitious community, because if you have a real community, why is it going to stall because market prices are coming down a little bit? That's not a community, maybe.
Yeah. I think it comes down to sort of what would you suggest the community do? I think do things that bolster the community building events and stuff that makes people want to be part of the community for, again, more than anything to do with price or money. And I get people asking me this fairly frequently. Like, how do you build a good community? I'm launching an NFT project. What should we do to build a good community? And to me, it comes down to, like, look at what people did to build communities before NFTs, without NFTs, because humans have been building communities for thousands and thousands of years. And there's a lot to be learned there. And,
agriculture.
Sure. I don't think we're going to have agriculture in Discord yet.
Well, that was certainly one of the first things that brought people together, right?
All right, let's go a little more 21st century and look at, like,
steam engine. What was the thing that Henry Ford supposedly did?
The production
assembly line.
Yeah. The printing press. No, but like a book club.
Get more water. Night. Keep talking.
Yeah. Do things that make people want to come to your Discord and have fun. Poker nights, trivia nights, community building events. Have Twitter spaces and have little, like, art contests and meme contests and conversations that are insightful and interesting, and that get people, like, want to spend time in your Discord, in the community, interacting with other community members, interacting with the team, because I think that's where a real community gets built. And, it takes time, but then as people continue to come back and, take part in these events, they meet other people, and hopefully that they like the other people, and they make these relationships, and they're like, that's really the heart and soul of a community. It comes down to, like, getting people wanting to spend time there. And how do you do that? You come up with events, you try and steer the conversation in ways that are deeper and more insightful and meaningful than floor price, and even than just, like, what the project is and what they're building. Like, there's so much more to a community than just what the team and the project founders set. So much of it comes from within the community themselves. Usually they're drawn to the project because of the team and the founders and the vision and whatever, whether it's the art that appreciates with them, or the game that they're potentially building, or the comic that they're releasing. But then now you have a group of people who are somewhat connected via a common interest. Give them something to do together, and then they'll have fun, and then
I mean, ultimately you want to provide a experience, right? So it can be educational, it can be entertainment, it can be something in between, but you have to give people a reason to, like, what is the point of this community? You know what I mean? And what is the benefit of being a part of this community? And it kind of goes from there. And that's going to be very individual, I would say, based on the project, because you know, if you're talking about the Zed Run community, what they're going to do to keep that community together is quite different from what the Art Blocks community is going to do to keep that community together. And you have to, you know, be cognizant of what type of community you have and go from there.
All right, second part of the question. What was your best flip? Is that kombucha? I'm so jealous. I would
Tart cherry. It's very good.
I don't like cherry flavor things, so I'm less jealous now. Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't taste like an artificial cherry taste. Are we sponsored by Kavita? We're not. But just shoving it in like that.
What was your best flip, Jamie?
I sold a summer fragment of the Infinite Field for 32F that I had minted for like 2 or 3F. I think that would have to be it. Let me pull up my activity and get you a more exact. But that would definitely be it.
That's a hell of a flip. I don't think I've sold an NFT for that much.
You're not much of a seller. Like, I mean, you get a lot of projects where you have a bunch of them and then you kind of slowly sell off bits and pieces. But in terms of big sales, you don't really done one of those.
The largest that I can think of was a Blocks of Art project on Art Blocks, minted for like, I don't know, 0.1 or 0.15, and then I sold it for about 14 ETH, which is that 1,000x? That's probably 1,000x.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. And then I had a really crazy night during the period when I was like a crazy aggressive flipper. I minted these things. I think they're called dope Shibas, and I minted them for 0.02 or something, and I listed one of them for 5 ETH. And
I remember that.
Yeah, I was just like, yeah.
I'm looking at my my tax spreadsheet. So the fragment that I'm talking about, I minted it for 2.553 ETH. So I guess it was 2 plus a lot of gas, and I sold it for 28.8 ETH. I mean, I guess it was 32, but after royalties and OpenSea fees, it was 28.8. So that was like 26 ETH, and it was probably only 3 weeks or something, maybe not even, right? I think it was probably
it was very short. Yeah.
I have another one when Blitmaps were going crazy. I think maybe the floor was around 6 or something, and somebody undercut it, and I got one for 4. And it was like kind of right before things started going parabolic in August or whatever. And I was able to sell it for 17.5 ETH, like very shortly thereafter. That was a pretty great one.
Thinking about it, I did sell, I think it was a Mutant Garden Cedar. So I minted, I think, a few of them at 0.4. And then again, when things were going crazy, I sold one for around 20 ETH.
I never liked those, but I was disappointed that I missed them when the prices were going crazy.
Yeah.
I like the concept, but the actual art itself never appealed to me.
Yeah, I would say I'm much the same.